And during that same time, that's when you meet David Crosby, right?
Actually, yeah. Like literally while I was practicing that song with the band, he was sitting behind me with his wife, and so he and Jan Crosby were sitting in the, like, sort of in the perimeter of the room for every single artist's rehearsal, as far as I could tell. Which I think is the mark of, like, the kind of people that they are, and the kind of musician that David is. He's always hungry. He, you know, at 78 or however old he is, years old, he's not trying to just settle in and, as he would say it, sit back and turn on the fog machine and play the hits. He's hungry. He's an artist. He wants to take in new things. And so he listened to everyone. And at the time, I knew his face and I knew his name and that he was a famous person, but that was about it. Like, everyone was like, whoa, David Crosby's here. And I didn't really know what that meant, because I grew up with a totally different kind of music with my family, like a lot of Irish folk music and classical music and world music and other weird stuff. But we weren't listening to, like, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young or the Beatles or anything that would have been like the normal stuff that other people in my parents' generation would listen to. So he came up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder, and I knew who he was and still felt starstruck just from, like, knowing who he was, but, you know, I wasn't about to, like, be like, I love this song, you know. And I think he liked that initially, that I wasn't, like, blowing smoke or anything. But the first thing he said to me, which I'll never forget, he tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, "You're a fucking weirdo." I was like, "Thank you, David Crosby." And then he immediately said, "We should write something together." And I was like, okay, I'm super down. And I sort of assumed that nothing would happen of it, but surely enough, it did.
And you end up singing background for him and writing music with him for the next, you know, years after that record comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it was background, I guess you could say, for that first tour. But he sent me a bunch of lyrics. I set one of them to music. It's called By the Light of Common Day on his record Lighthouse. And Mike produced that record and invited Michelle Willis and I to sing on it. And when they were listening back in the mixes, it's the only song on that record that the four of us are on. But David was like, there's something about the blend of these four people. I want this to be the road band for this record. So we went on the road playing the music from that record. I was playing various guitars, singing background and some lead. Same with Mike and Michelle. And then David decided after that tour that he wanted the Lighthouse Band, instead of it being like a David Crosby band with these other people accompanying him, that he wanted it to be more of a collaborative band, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, but also nothing like that. And so we made another record where all of us did the writing together and all of us were like leading it together.